and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. My name's Russ. Come on into my sewing room. Hey, everybody. So this week has been a little crazy. I don't want to say how stupid work has been, but there's been a lot of craziness going on. So I haven't had a lot of time to spend in here in my sewing room. I haven't got any more done on my New Year's Eve quilt along, which, as I said before, I hoped was a simpler project. That way I didn't have it kind of looming over me for a while. Uh, and then, like, things have just been crazy. But I did do one little thing. My ADHD got the best of me. I woke up Monday morning with a quilt design in my head. So I drew it out. I first tried to draw it in EQ8, but then I realized that it wasn't quite working out well with the way that my mind works. So I popped up Excel because that made it go a lot easier. And then I was able to do all the math for it and get it the fabric requirements figured out. And I hopped over to my local quilt shop and bought fabric for it. I did get everything cut. I've got a couple piles of fabric on the cutting table behind me. And I started to put a little bit of it together. And then I realized that some of the pieces weren't quite fitting right. I went back to Excel and realized that I did math wrong. So I need to trust Excel to do math, not me to do the math. But luckily, I cut the pieces too large, not too small. So I just need to get back there and trim a handful of pieces. I think it's 8 or 10 pieces that I have to trim down a couple inches. And then I can start sewing back together again. It's a little intricate with design, but I think it's going to be a really awesome quilt to put together. I came up with a couple ideas for borders in my head over the past week, so I need to figure out what I can do with those and like little simple ways to do those. So we'll see what I get. Hopefully, I can get it done in the next handful of weeks and then start getting it quilted because I would really love to show this off at show and tell in a month or two, just because it's that awesome of a project. As I said, work has been a little crazy. We've had insane deadlines with unrealistic. It, they're insane, unrealistic deadlines that we have. It's a lot of training issues going on. We're trying our best, and uh, like our team, and especially me, we're not accustomed to being on the I don't want to say it's set up for failure, but we feel like it's set up for failure just the way that everything is going. But we will do everything in our power to get it working, which is why there's been a lot of crazy work hours that have been going on. So we'll see what happens. I can give you an update over the next couple of weeks because I think these next 2 weeks are supposed to be like the biggest brunt of trying to get everything figured out. And once we get it figured out, we're golden. It's just figuring out the new systems and figuring out what we need to do in order to get all of the results that are needed for testing. That is the part that is looming over us right now. But we've we've dealt with worse, we think. So we're just going to make sure that we can get what we can out of it and get it taken care of. So probably aren't not going to do a lot over the next couple weeks in here, but I do want to, especially since next weekend's a long weekend, get a couple hours in here to see what I can do. Uh, I know that there's been a lot of talk about 2023 quilty goals. Uh, I thought about doing a video about my 2023 quilty goals, but the problem is my quilt goals change every couple of months. I do know that, what I like to have in January, by the time it comes to March or April, they don't seem to fit anymore for what I want to do. So I don't like to do those type of goals, but I do have a couple general goals of what I want to do for 2023. I keep trying to make sure I say the right year. Uh, Goal number one is I want to get at least two of the graduation quilts done this year. I started on one of them a year and a half ago, and I've got one done in a year, and I've got you know three more to get finished. So I want to get two of those done this year. It's a lot of cutting, and then the piecing goes by fairly easily. Uh, the other goal that I have is to keep up my pace with completing projects so that I continue to have at least one show and tell every month at the local quilt shop with our Saturday sampler. It's kind of amusing because when I go into the quilt shop, they have a little, what is that thing called? Digital photo frame by the register. And every single time I go, I see me there, and it's like when you're driving down the street and you see a cow, everybody has to yell cow. I will, if I see me on that picture, I'm like, oh look, it's me. And I was in there buying the fabric last Monday, and one of the folks working there, she goes, yeah, because you whip these things out so often, you're here every month with a show and tell. So I just want to make sure that I can keep up the work just to make sure I get show and tell, because I love being a little bit of inspiration with people, and I especially love the inspiration that everybody else does with show and tell, because I have seen some wonderful projects. Some of the projects have given me some inspiration. In fact, the project that I'm working on was a show and tell, or a similar of what I'm doing was a show and tell in a Facebook group. And when I saw that, I said, I know exactly what I want to do with that. And that's when I pulled out Excel and drew up my design. And I kind of hope it works. So we'll see how that works. Uh, One other thing is next week I should have a surprise announcement. So uh, get ready for that. I'm very excited for what's in the boats. It seems everybody seems to have a lot of surprise announcements in the next couple weeks. And yeah, you could chalk me up into that list as well for something that is really cool and surprising. So yeah, like I said, I'm really excited for it, and I'll let you guys in on the secret next week. But I don't have a lot to talk about this week. Like I said, I haven't done anything in here. I haven't I have a sampler block I need to do. I have my New Year's Eve quilt along that I have to do. I have the new project that I started. I have the graduation quilts. Like I have a list. I just need to get time in here and start working. And I think the biggest issue is lighting. This overhead light is all I have. Oh, and the little one on the cutting lamp. And when it gets dark outside, which, as I said, it gets dark fairly early, I don't want to be working in here. In fact, I'm recording this and sun has already set, and like I'm like, okay, I'm ready to actually get out and go chill and watch some TV. I think I have an episode of Worst Cooks to go catch up on. So yeah, that's me done rambling for the day. But yeah, keep your eyes out next week for a surprise video that says, this is a cool thing that's been going on. And until next week, keep stitching.